There are several planets in the universe, but somehow we found ourselves on good old planet Earth. And speaking of Earth, when you think about the reason why we look the way we look, it's mainly because we live here on Earth. Which brings the question, what would life on other planets look like? Let's explore our first planet, and what better planet to start with than Mercury? Mercury isn't only the smallest planet in our solar system, it's also the closest planet to the Sun, with temperatures ranging from -195 degrees to 800 degrees Fahrenheit. You know where things start getting a bit weird on Mercury? It's the closest planet to the Sun, so it should be the hottest, right? Well, it's not. The Sun in Mercury's sky is 250% larger than it is on Earth's sky. So, want my advice? If you were living on Mercury, just don't look up in the sky at daytime. Things tend to get weirder when talking about Mercury. For example, if you were to live on Mercury for a day, that should be about 58 days on Earth. Moving on to the next planet, Venus. This is the hottest planet in our solar system, with temperatures ranging from -870 degrees to 900 degrees Fahrenheit. Survival on this planet is, I wouldn't say hard, impossible is more like it. This planet, despite how beautiful it looks, is constantly assaulted by volcanic eruptions and acid rain. And the pressure on Venus is so strong that standing and walking around on the planet would feel like you are 3,000 feet underwater, and a really thick cloud covers the sky. So you can forget about getting enough supply of oxygen. There is carbon dioxide everywhere, and the planet's surface is completely dry. So that explains why it's so hot. Venus's atmosphere contains phosphine, which isn't that great for humans, unless you turn into a microbe. The Sun is only visible on Venus when the atmosphere is at its thinnest state. So, to cut the long story short, life on Venus wouldn't be awesome. Let's jump to the next planet, Mars. This is one of the few planets similar in size to the Earth. The red planet has an average temperature ranging from about -195 degrees to 68 degrees Fahrenheit. Living on Mars, you'd notice the deadly levels of radiation, constant dust storms, and high levels of CO2. And Mars's atmosphere is just 1% the thickness of Earth's atmosphere. So, Mars isn't as protected as the Earth. At the point the Sun rises, the sky is deep royal blue, and as the Sun moves, it slowly changes to a pinkish red colored sky, and as evening arrives, the sky is a reddish orange color. Gravity on Mars is much lower than it is on Earth. So, spending enough time on the planet, your bones would shrink and your weight would change. So, living on Mars, you'd probably need to eat 3 times what you normally eat on Earth in order to maintain your weight. Let's say our planet was Mars instead of Earth. What skin color do you think we would have? Green? No, sorry guys, more like orange. Life would be really weird on Mars. But what about Jupiter? Well, sorry to break it to you guys, but things aren't exactly easier on Jupiter. Jupiter is only made up of hydrogen and helium. It's literally a planet made out of gas. The planet is just like a giant cloud, and if you decided to go ahead and live on the planet, you'd end up just floating around, and if you somehow landed, you'd just be walking on a really thick fog. It gets weirder. If somehow you lived on Jupiter, you wouldn't be able to speak. Why? Because this gas planet absorbs radio waves. So if you were yelling at the top of your voice, no one would hear you. But despite all this, Jupiter is gorgeous, and it's so big that every single planet in the solar system can fit inside of it, and it will still have room for more. Life on Jupiter is impossible, but you know what might be possible? Life on Jupiter's moon Europa. Scientists think Europa, that is one of Jupiter's moons, might be a good place for human life. Let's move on to the next planet, Saturn. Well, Saturn is mostly made up of layers of gas. Not again. Saturn doesn't have a single solid surface. But let's acknowledge the cool thing about Saturn. Saturn's ring. Obviously, right? So, what's it made of? Well, the ring is made up of millions of ice sprinkles floating around in space. And no, you probably can't walk on it. But hey, the planet isn't all bad. There are some layers on the planet with really nice temperature. But it is only one layer, and the rest of the planet is freezing. Well, life on this planet is impossible, but life on Saturn's moon Titan might be possible. So what about this planet, Uranus? Uranus takes weirdness to the next level. If you were to stay about 2 weeks on the Earth, that would be about 3 years on Uranus's time. Uranus wouldn't be suitable for human life, but what about Uranus's moon, Miranda? Among Uranus's 27 moons, Miranda would be one humans can live on. It's super cold, averaging about -300 degrees Fahrenheit. This moon lacks gravity, so that means there is no atmosphere. And if you were to settle there, you would be taken out by constant radiation. Standing on the surface of Miranda, the sun would be very far away from you. Goodbye to communication where there is no atmosphere. Next planet, Neptune. Guess what? It's another gas planet. Big surprise. Being inside Neptune is a new series of floating around. The gravity on Neptune is only a bit stronger than it is on Earth. The wind inside the planet is so strong that it would be difficult standing in one place for long. So you're gonna have to be really heavy to resist it. Let's just say it's one of those planets impossible to live on. But Neptune's moon Triton could be a potential and possibly human-friendly place. Next planet, Pluto. Yeah, it's not a planet anymore, but let's just add it to the list. Pluto takes 248 years to complete a revolution around the Sun. That's a lot of time. Pluto is so small that it's even smaller than our moon. The sky color in Pluto is different depending on when you visit it. So it's weird, cold, small, and very far away. I don't know about you, but Pluto isn't the most exciting planet to live on. But hey, Pluto isn't that bad. After all, there is a liquid water ocean just beneath the surface, including ice mountains. Yeah, I don't see how that's useful. I don't know about you, but our dear old planet Earth is just perfect.